What is up guys, welcome to this new video. In this video I'll be going over the patch notes of today, which is the 2nd of April 2025, and we have some cool things on our hands today. There's a full session battles rework with new rewards, a completely new NPC, as you can see right next to me, with a new gun barter line, all with new guns, and some other balance and economy changes that are very interesting and will probably have quite a big impact on the game. One small thing I also saw that I didn't directly see in the patch notes is that, as you can see on the right, the faction daily for the serum, this one specifically, it used to be killing 10 ghouls and now it's 7 ghouls. Anyway, let's get right into the video. Alright, so starting with the biggest part of this update, the session battles update. This is honestly almost a full rework because this is a major update. As said before, the update comes with a new merchant, unique barter branches, temporary paints and charms, and 2 new game modes, and of course a new interface for all this stuff. First of all, as you saw earlier on my screen, there's a new merchant and part-time organizer of session battles named Spartak. He has made his appearance in the zone. You'll be able to find him in any base from the bar on, and then he'll also be available in all the factions bases. Starting with a reputation. First and foremost, the reputation system of session battles has been redesigned. It now fully inherits the combat set rules and is converted at a 1-to-1 ratio. The player has now a session battle level. Reputation is earned for completing any session match. So each new level opens after receiving 10,000 points. The number of levels is endless. You can literally technically become level 1 billion. As the player levels up, they will unlock access to new items from the merchant, and we'll go over those items in a bit. As a reward for completing a session match, the player will receive battle tokens, which will be the currency of the session battles. These battle tokens can be used at Spartak, the new NPC, in exchange for all these new weapons and charms and paints and things we'll get into in a bit. It's also interesting to note that players who have previously been active in session battles will receive emails with rewards in the form of battle tokens as a sort of thank you. As you can see here, I was like literally level 2 or something in session battles. I only played a couple. I also got this email, and this is kind of what it looks like, and you get 500 battle tokens, and you can get up to 25,000 battle tokens depending on how many battle packs you've earned. Depending on the session battles level, you will also receive a certain rank. At the moment, it's just a visual display of your achievements, and this rank cannot be lost and it will not reset. And the ranks icons look like this. So I think they look pretty cool. Honestly, I think it's a cool little addition to the session battles as a whole, making them more interesting for like everybody to join, because before, I think not a lot of players join session battles. It was usually always the same people. Then, finally coming to all the new stuff you can buy for these battle tokens. The merchant, Spartak, will sell a bunch of weapons, charms, and other stuff in exchange for these tokens. So under the other category, you can exchange your battle tokens for anomalous serum, batteries, catalysts, changing serum, anomalous genes, cleaning reagent, and mutation enzyme. Do note that you need to have certain session battles levels for this as well. Same for the skins and paints. So there's a bunch of paints that you can get, and you know, if you go all the way to level 300, there's like a couple of special ones. So that's pretty cool that these are gonna be like, you know, exclusive to a certain level in the session battles. Then also there's going to be a bunch of accessories, once again also ordered by which level you are in session battles, you know, starting with a bronze stalker token or bandit token all the way to a gold one, and some other fun charms or you know, attachments, accessories. I'm personally very happy about the Lenin keychain coming back. I do think this is such a fun weapon charm that honestly it's nice that it comes back. Then something also pretty cool is that finally you'll be able to purchase SBP rounds and SEP rounds. So that's pretty cool that you know, at least in some way are finally able to buy these. So the weapons, we have assault rifles, machine guns, and pistols. So first of all, we have the AKS-9 Stout line. It starts with this one. These are all assault rifles that are converted to the 9x39. That's one you can upgrade to the AK-9M Coyote, as you can see. This will cost you, you know, like more battle tokens than the previous gun. So if we also go to this one, it costs 2,500. Here you are already at 10,000 battle tokens spent. And then if you want to get to the ASM Serval, it's another 15,000. But this gun looks pretty good. It's pretty insane, honestly. Also, you know, the recoil is like almost not there. So this is looking very interesting. The damage drop off is quite steep though. Then we also have a line of 726 weapons. Starting with the OTS 14A1 Thor. And then, you know, going up to this gun, and then to the A762 Ares, which also looks like a pretty interesting gun, honestly. Like this 800 shots per minute with the 40 damage looks pretty interesting. Then we have a third line of the PSA PA guns. Starts with the PSA PA 10 beat. Once again, here it's also for 2,500 tokens, and then it goes 7,500, and then, you know, again 15,000. So you would need 25,000 battle tokens to, you know, upgrade a full gun line. So this gun, it starts with this, then it goes to the PSA P10 Rhythm, and after that it goes to the PSA 20 STR Pulse. This gun looks absolutely insane. It only has a mag of 21, but you can put the 762 NATO P mag on it, so you can up that to 30. It has a whopping 54 units of damage and 720 shots per minute with only 0.26 vertical recoil. That's absolutely insane. This honestly might be one of the new meta guns, just stat wise, looking at it right now. The damage drop off is a little bit steep, but it's still really good. And it also has a burst round mode with a whopping 1,200 rounds per minute. This is the gun I'm honestly personally most excited for. It also looks sick, but I think it will be a while before I'm personally at 25,000 of these battle tokens. Then there's also a machine gun called the 6P62 Little Boy. This gun also looks pretty crazy because it's a machine gun that shoots with the 12.7 ammo type, which, you know, it does an insane amount of damage. You will need 40,000 battle tokens for it though. Then there's also a pistol barter line starting with the highest power. These are also all pistols that have been converted to the 9x39 format. So a pistol with 9x39 is, you know, very interesting, especially if you have a main gun that also shoots 9x39. It cuts down on the ammo you need to bring, so that could be interesting depending on the build you have. And then this upgrades in the Smeson, and then eventually in Big Bill, the veteran, you know, pistol, which also looks pretty cool stat-wise, honestly. You will again need, I think, 25,000 battle tokens for this. Some of the offers will be temporary, as you can see. So for example, these tokens of the Bronze Stalker token, etc., they're temporary, and they will change at the end of the season. There's also changes to the map selection interface. It now looks like this, which honestly is a lot better of an overview. And there's also a new map, Ghost 17, which we will get to in a bit. This is also nice because there's no longer a timetable for the availability of maps. You can now play on each of them at any time if the necessary number of players will be found. And to get the desired map, you just have to click on its image, and if you can't choose where to play, you can mark several maps and start searching. And you will be joined with the most populated one at the moment. This is really nice because you can, you know, sort of make a pool of maps you like. The old method of joining is also preserved. You can just select the server you want to join, and that's literally like how it was with the old session battle system. There's going to be new game modes as well, which I'm personally super excited about. There's going to be 2 new modes, namely Arms Race and Deathmatch. They will be available one at a time, switching from one to another as the new day begins. I personally have always been a fan of Arms Race type game modes in CSGO and other games, so I'm pretty excited for this one. I'm probably still going to be dog shit at it, but honestly, I really like it because it also allows you to, you know, try out a lot of different weapons. For those that don't know what Arms Race is, it's a very popular game mode in other games as well. It just comes down to when you kill a player, your weapon changes to a new one, and then the first one who kills the enemy with the last weapon in like sort of the line of weapons that you'll cycle through wins the match. Then there's also Deathmatch, which, you know, is just a deathmatch. The cool thing about this as well is that the set of equipment in this mode is prepared, so there's only 2 options available to the player, one with high damage and one low rate of fire, and one with low damage and high rate of fire. So I think this is also interesting because it will allow more beginner players to also join deathmatch matches and, you know, have a fair chance against someone and not only, you know, make session battles less armor dependent. Then the new map, Ghost 17, is a new format map made specifically for the deathmatch type modes. There's gonna be a lot of trampolines and, you know, like ways to travel across the map quickly, so that's super cool. And honestly, the map just already looks super cool in general, as you can see on the screen right now. There's some other session battle changes as well, such as on the Street of Pripyat, there's changes to how the map looks. But I'm not going over those right now. If you want to read the full patch notes, you can find them in the link down below in the description. There's been some changes to the duration of the game. The number of team points earned for holding points on large maps has been increased by 1.5 times, and this will hopefully reduce the duration of matches. You will receive season points for completing the session match. They will be issued in unsealed form and credited immediately, instead of, you know, getting unsealed season points every now and then. Their number directly depends on your contribution to the match, you know, as did before. Then for other changes, there's some refinements in the report system. There's now a feature that allows you to report a player right in the character's profile, so that's pretty cool. And currently only prohibited software reports are accepted. After pushing the report button, the report reason menu opens. Then there's quite a lot of economic changes as well. There's been a lot of changes to how we can farm season passes. So in Forge 11, they have increased the sealed season point and barter items and monetary currency rewards for completing golden events. This is, you know, like the basis. I don't know how I feel about that personally, because the thing is, once you clear these, all the other outposts around, like the people events around it, will also start spawning in your faction NPCs, so it means that you can't clear them anymore. So this is gonna make you push further a lot quicker, and this is gonna make for more PvP in Forge. So I understand why they did it, but you know, there goes the easy farming of season points. Then in Labyrinth, the drop of all sealed season points has been increased by 40%. Then in Mines and Inflow, they have reduced the reward for people's events by 25% for season points, substance, and monetary currency, and increased the reward for the Outpost event by 100% for sealed season points and 50% for monetary currency. So essentially, you know, the Outpost event has been buffed and the people events have been nerfed. Then in the Path of Fools and Polskoye, the drop of all sealed season points has been increased by 50%. So that's very interesting, because now in the south, you can actually also, you'll get more season points, which I think is honestly a pretty decent change. Then in the Pit and the Forest, also in the south, the drop of all sealed season points has also been increased by 25%. There's been some changes to the economics of the roadside location as well. They changed the economic component of the roadside location for Outpost. The purpose of the changes is to increase the value of the Outpost event and bring the economy of the roadside into alignment with other locations in the corresponding belt. Specifically, they have reduced the amount of Crepite barter resource received from people's events at the roadside by 30%, and increased the amount of Stinky Root received from the mutant events in the roadside by 25%. They've also increased the amount of currency received from outpost events in the roadside by 35%. There's been a couple of sound updates as well. They added a new phrase of the scientist, a learning of the eruption. The volume of all these phrases has been reduced, so no more shouting about the eruption in your ear. I personally really like that. Then they've also added the sounds of bullets ricocheting when hitting surfaces, concrete, stone, rock, electronic devices, metal, rail, and all these type of things. And they have updated the sounds of bullets flying past the player's ear. They've added some new sounds of their own production for the player's movement. So that means squatting, crawling, jumping, landing, moving in a hook, moving through obstacles, moving up a vertical ladder. So I think that just, you know, increases the overall immersion. So I do like that. Then there's quite a lot of balance changes as well. There's some general changes to recoil reduction. They've added a 12.5% recoil reduction, both vertical and horizontal, when squatting for all weapons. So any weapon you use, if you squat, you're going to get 12.5% reduced recoil. And if you get in prone position, you will get a 25% recoil reduction also for all weapons. This is honestly very interesting, and I do think this is gonna make for like a more skillful play, hopefully. But I think there will probably be some tweaks to it, because I think with the 25%, it will kind of shake up the usefulness of certain weapons that were less useful now can now be useful in different scenarios. So I do think that's interesting, but I think we can prepare for a wave of more balances because of it. For machine guns and PTRDM, the recoil reduction in the prone position still remains at 60% though. They've also added the stamina waste to the grenade throw, so with each grenade thrown, the stamina waste gets higher. The accumulated multiplier is reset in 4 seconds without throwing grenades. So this makes it harder to, spam throw grenades, which I do think is a good idea. There's been some changes to heavy combat suits. So heavy combat suits eventually became obsolete over time, giving way to more comfortable representatives of their class. Especially with the new armor rework, there's some, good armors that honestly make the centurion and these kind of things look pretty useless. In this regard, Centurion Armored Skeleton has received a number of improvements, including those inherent only in super heavy armored suits in the form of durability, and ignoring the movement speed penalty from weapons. Super heavy armored suits have also been improved. They got increased explosion protection and increased carry weight. And sort of connected to that, they've also reduced the weight of most standard containers, such as the Cocoon, the Fridge, the Forager, and the Zivkas Arctic Safe. This is honestly a pretty interesting change, and this will make these containers more useful, especially since they're mostly used with these heavy armors that can only wear standard containers. So I do think this is an interesting change overall, and it should make for a very interesting, change in the meta. There's been some weapon changes as well. Previously, hitting an equipped blade with the Gauss rifle had no effect on its durability, and now the durability will decrease but twice as slowly as if the full blade penetration function did not work. The same change applies to the CR380. Previously, the PTRDM destroyed the blade with a single shot, but the damage to the character was still reduced by the blade, which greatly affected the effectiveness of the weapon and partially made the dead shot useless. Now the damage to the body is dealt in full. There's some other weapon changes as well, which are pretty interesting. These are mostly weapon buffs to quite a few guns, including the Tavor and the VSK, so a lot of stuff that can also be arsenaled. Again, if you want to check those out, just check the link in the description. I'm not going over all of them because it's, just repeating numbers, so it's maybe not that interesting. There have been some other changes to items as well, as you can see on the screen. Notable is that all crafted ammunition will now have high penetration, which, I guess this is a way of them trying to make people use the hideout crafting more and, make it more appealing, because right now, let's be honest, it's not really very appealing to do it, and the grind to level is absolutely horrendous. There's also been some matchmaking changes. Adjustments have been made to the matchmaking difficulty system, and there will be fewer cases when a player gets to a higher difficulty than expected. Then there's some various little changes as well, such as a visual indication of uncollected rewards for completing season tasks. The offer for exchanging the Punisher armored suit for other factional mercenary suits has been removed. They have added transparency to some visors and eyepieces for a number of suits, which is nice because then, you can see your skin a bit. I guess that's a nice change. And then they've also doubled the frequency of occurrence of the outpost event at the roadside location, so it will happen more often. Anyway, that was it. If you enjoyed this video, let me know. If you thought it was helpful, please do leave a like as it helps out the video. Let me know what do you think of these changes. Are you happy with the whole rework of the session battles and how the rewards work? Do you think it's interesting? Do you like the new game modes and which one is your favorite? Let me know down below. If you want to support my channel and the things I do, you can do this very easily by just liking the video, or if you have some money to spare, there's a link to join as a member in the description. This is as cheap as just €1 a month. Anyway, if you want to watch some more Stalcraft content, you can click here on the left for some case openings, and you can click here on the right for some gameplay. Thanks for watching, and enjoy the zone, Stalkers.